Good morning, Intenders.
Good morning.
Welcome to Morning Intentions. Today is Thursday, February 5th, and this is our month of alignment with self. I want to share our working definition to start us off so we can get that in our heads. And then I'll share it again so we get it in our hearts. Alignment with self means living in relationship with our inner experience, our values, our limits, our energy, and our truth, rather than overriding ourselves to meet expectations, manage outcomes, or keep the peace. Alignment with self means living in relationship with our inner experience, our values, limits, energy, and truth, rather than overriding ourselves to meet expectations, manage outcomes, or keep the peace. Yesterday, we shared how when we're living, whether it's in alignment with self or out of alignment with self, there is a felt experience where we know what we're doing. When we've listened and noticed, we've oriented ourselves, and when we act out of alignment with that orientation, we know it.
We feel it in our bodies.
We feel it so acutely. I know I have. Have you, Annette? When you were saying no, when you
That's why I said it was excruciating. And then yesterday you were worried that I was a little too like, oh my gosh, we don't want to scare people.
No, that's what I thought. Like, oh, this is so painful. It's uncomfortable. Good luck, everyone.
But we have to be truthful, especially when we're noticing how different it feels to act and show up in alignment with our truth as opposed to being out of alignment. We feel it in our bodies. I was really looking forward to today's podcast because based on what we talked about yesterday, we both wanted to share a little bit about how we have felt when we're not in alignment with what we maybe at some point didn't know was true, but then now we know is true. Do you want to go first, Ada? Because you were funny when we were talking about this together, how you do have a pretty intense reaction.
Oh, and I think we all know it. I'll give us a few seconds to guess. What does Ada do when she's out of alignment with herself?
She gets angry.
Oh, there you go. Okay. You didn't even give people time to guess. But
I think we all know you well enough now.
That was like one of those, I'll give you 3 guesses and the first 2 don't count kind of things. Like, oh, yeah, we all know I get angry.
What I wanted to talk to you about, because this is an obvious thing, we all know this about you. When you become angry, do you stop for a moment, like take a pause and question, okay, anger's coming up inside. Am I in alignment with what I have noticed and heard about myself? Do you give yourself a chance to hold the anger in check, so to speak, because now there's a reason you're knowing that you're out of alignment? Or does it take you a while?
Before, it would take me a very long time to figure out.
And what is that? Like a week?
Define long time?
Yeah, like a week, a month, a year, a day?
It really would depend on the situation. If there was a situation and I said, I don't want to be a people pleaser, I don't think I'm a people pleaser.
No, you're not a people pleaser.
But I do like to make people happy. So there have been
you
times.
You say that.
Well,
I do like to make people happy, though.
I do. I do
like to make people happy, but you're not this compulsive people pleaser.
No, exactly. So if I want to make people happy, like I want to get them what they really want for their birthday or something they never would have expected so I can get to see the smile on their face. Those are the kind of things where I like to make people happy. I like when the energy is bright and fun. And there have been times where I didn't feel so happy, but I did what I thought would help make other people happy. Not compulsively, I chose to do it. That was a manage outcomes Sometimes it was a keep the peace. And there'd be times where I kind of like did it while gritting my teeth, like, okay, I'll do this. And then I'd get ticked off. Maybe I would show it. Maybe I wouldn't. I'm sure everyone would feel it.
You always show it.
I would try to keep it in check. I guess I was pretty unsuccessful with that. The answer is there were times where I would have to think about it, but there were a lot of times I knew right away
that you were angry because you were self-abandoning.
Absolutely. I would know while I'm doing it. I'd hear my words. I'd watch myself wanting to help make people happy and help people have a better day, and abandoning myself while I did it. This is where we learned, you and I both learned eventually, not just about me, but about ourselves. It's not loving, it's not kind, if it's not loving and kind to everyone involved, including ourselves. So if we're kind and we're wanting to make people happy, but then I don't feel that happy about it, it doesn't really make people happy. We want happy all around. But I feel it. I feel it in my gut. I feel it in my shoulders. I feel it in my jaw. People probably see it in my eyes and on my face. I clench my fists. It sounds like this is not a good look.
Now you're scaring them today.
But that's what I did. It was so visceral, and it's like,
now you're using past tense, but do you still do this? Because I would say yes, you do, but not.
It's not to the extent,
and not very often in an entire year. But I do think that when you do show up in the way that you're describing, you could probably backtrack it to where you didn't trust the body signals that you were getting. Like you didn't trust the inner ugh, or you felt it and then you just moved past it.
I didn't know what to do. That was a big thing. I didn't know what else to do.
That's what we're going to talk about this month. How do we act in alignment with what we know is true for us when people are so used to us showing up a different way, or we're so used to showing up in a different way? Another thing that I did, which is very much maybe associated with my Enneagram, but I think it's more of an external processor sort of thing. But silence made me nervous. I didn't like silence.
Oh, yeah. You always had to fill the silence.
When I really get down to it now, and I listen to what's true, and I notice what's true, it was really my own anxiety that couldn't take the silence.
How did that show up in your body?
I would have a little, not a full-blown panic attack, but it was pretty like, oh gosh, I have to feel this silence because I can't take it.
Like, would your heart start racing? Would you breathe harder?
My mind would get fuzzy. I would like not know what to do inside my mind.
There was a real nervous system reaction.
Yes, and I practiced with Dawn. And I am practicing. I'm in the middle still of practicing with Dawn because Dawn's a quiet guy. And he doesn't care if you're talking or not. But even with Dawn, would fill up the silence. Oh, Dawn, how was your day? Did you like this? Did you like that? And he would answer. But I've noticed I've taken that pressure off myself that, okay, Dawn and I can have silence and it's going to be okay. If you ask Dawn, he probably doesn't notice at all. But for me, when I can be in the kitchen with Dawn and we can be preparing dinner, let's say, or we can be fussing over Molly and loving her, I used to fill it with conversation. And I don't force myself to do that anymore because it doesn't feel very anchored just making up words to say. When we have the silence now, I feel safe, but I noticed that's why I wanted to talk about all of what we're talking about. Many times, me blabbering on made me feel safe, where I've had to learn to become safe with silence. That's why when you say, I didn't know what to do, I didn't know what to do either. We have to give some of these things a try so that we can learn we can feel safety simply being ourselves, being authentic, being true to what's true inside of us.
So, our intention for today is a curiosity question. How does being out of alignment show up in my body? How does being out of alignment with myself show up in my body? Here are 2 examples and take it away from there. Maybe yours is different than ours, maybe it's the same, but we're building our awareness of how being out of alignment shows up in our bodies. Thank you so much for joining us today. Our day is better because you are part of our day. See you tomorrow.
See you then.